All right, everybody. Doing something a little bit interesting today. I have been working a lot with automations, and one very time consuming part of my sales process is building custom proposals. They go a long way, they feel very premium, and they do take a long time. But I am trying to see if I can build a template within Google Slides to see how much of this I can actually automate. So essentially, what I've done is I've come in here and I'm going to start entering in variables. So up here, we have these squiggly bracket, variable name, squiggly bracket. If I made a plan for this ahead of time, I'd probably map out all of the things that I need, but I'm going to kind of keep a running list as I do this. The next part of the process will be going into Relay or any really no code AI assisted automation tool, and start building some workflows. So let's make a new folder for this, and we're going to call this proposals. I will put this in sales, actually, because I already have a sales folder. All right. Cool. Proposals. Great. Now, essentially, this workflow is going to do a few things. It's going to trigger. I need to figure out what the trigger is actually going to be. It might just be a manual trigger. This is what I probably should have planned beforehand. So, all right, we're just going to start a manual trigger. And essentially the rough outline of this is it's going to take a sales transcript. So we need to ingest that sales transcript. I assume that's going to be an input from like a database like Notion or something. We also could have it go and look at, no, it's going to be an input. Okay, so we're going to find a page in Notion, find pages in database. I'm going to do my deal pipeline database. Cool. And we're going to, yeah, so what we'll do is we'll find the information from there. Then we're going to do a few things. We are going to need to have an AI step that looks through that transcript and starts to answer some questions. So this is going to be analyze call transcript to find information for the proposal. Obviously, we'll want to know what we're looking for. And honestly, I've been loving Claude Sonnet 4.5, so we'll probably use that. And then maybe we're going to need to create an iterative list. But either way, we are going to go to Google Slides, and we are going to see this is the big step we're using. Copy slides and fill in placeholders. So we need a list of all of those placeholders, and we're going to fill them out. And I think this should work pretty well. We might need some research steps and things before, but honestly, this is generally the workflow that we're going to be using. I know I will want to do like a Google search. So we'll use like Pro to search the web. Although, does this have, oh, there we go, Flash with search, that works. Maybe we'll use like DeepSeek or Grok. I think those all have web access as well. Queen, I don't know what that is. All right. Cool. So I think a lot of the work is going to be in the prep of the file. So what we're going to do is we're going to take my proposal structure and we're going to templatize it essentially by adding in these curly brackets for the areas that we need. I did this successfully with in my webinar video. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. But the webinar video where we post-production, this was kind of cool. So essentially after I finished a webinar, this would go in here and it would find a interesting quote from the webinar. and create a social graphic. So this was generated fully automatically. It went to LinkedIn, found her photo, it put the quote in there, put her name. Great. So then we sent this to her as a JPEG, and we're like, happy to have you on the show. Share this on socials. So I want to recreate something similar, but for a multi-slide proposal. Now, as I'm saying this, I don't even know if that's possible. But we're going to go and do it anyway. So we're going to start finding the variables. Title slide stays the same. This is like our look at all the cool companies we've worked with. All of this and stay the same. This is going to be a logo replacement. So note to self, we're going to need to, maybe I'll keep like a running list here. Constants. This is just a place for me to keep some thoughts down. Honestly, I might just put it in this. So we're going to need logo replacement. Great. Then we have this awesome executive summary slide. So what I want to do is just come in here and say executive summary. I think that's all I'm going to need. What I am going to do is start putting in body. I think it'll be like header, subheader, body. So I can delineate on each page which, what input field it is relating to. So like here, I'm just going to copy this, come here, it's going to be like market conditions, market landscape, body, and this will be market landscape header. Ooh, maybe I'll even do H1 because like that's how legit we're being. Okay, awesome. Now, strengths. This is a good slide. Okay, I should just do this because I don't need to be editing this deck while we. Strengths, gaps identified, actually is going to be quite the same. For bullets, not sure how that's going to go. So come in here. I think if I do this, strengths, body. Nope. Cool. We're going to have strengths. I don't know how it's going to handle bullet points, but we will figure that out. Gaps identified. I don't know. Look, I just go into this and I'm like, I'll figure it out. But I'm sure if you do some planning, this is a constant slide. All right, cool. How we get there. This is like our strategy overview slide. So we're going to do strategy overview body, and we're going to do objective 1, objective, yeah, I can do a number, 1, H3, objective 1, body. Cool. That's easy to replace. I can just do that. So what I want to do is add all of these and then make a note of, well, I'll probably end up having to manually go back and look because I'm not taking notes. But, right, you want to map out all of the components that you need and have the styling. And so it can just come in and put that data right in there. Let's see. A standard proposal, then we probably won't have reports. Whatever, I'll keep it for now. I guess having more is better than having less. So here, this is going to be report strategy reports body. And this is going to be I think this is just going to be strategy reports. I guess I have to be standardized on here. H1, nice. Strategy, LinkedIn, H1. All right, I will come back in a second when I have more of this filled out. Okay, I'm back. So here's what I've done. I've gone through this, and there are some slides that don't change, but otherwise, I've gone through and added placeholder text with these variables for all of the slides that we need to be editing. Pricing and like deliverables, I'm not quite sure how to handle. I mean, I guess we can just do this as deliverable exec. I guess it's best to do this. Deliverable LinkedIn, deliverable Twitter, X, I guess that's what we're calling it, deliverable exec, vid. I don't know if capitalization matters. Should probably know that. Deliverable exec newsletter, news. That's always included. That's always included. Deliverable reports, deliverable authority assets, deliverable company LinkedIn. I'm just going to do CL, delivery company video, deliverable newsletter, C news, I guess to stay consistent, that's CN, posting, cool. Price is easy enough to change. And you can see I've added like client name and date in all of these as well. This should be enough to get started. Okay, so now we have a template. It's client name here, proposal, client name. Great, well, let's get into Relay side of things. So let's name this before I get to make a proposal, before I get too ahead of myself. And we'll give it a little emoji just so I can remember. Rainbow looks nice. So we now need to get a list of all these variables that we need to fill out. I was thinking about it as I was doing this. I'm going to download this as a PDF and honestly just run it through ChatGPT to see if I can have it extract the information I need. I don't know if you can see my ChatGPT or not, but I have ChatGPT open. I'm dropping it in the chat, and I'm just saying, go through this entire presentation for me and extract all of the unique, right, because I don't need it to double count, variables that are in the deck, a variable looks like a word between two curly brackets, example, client name would equal client name. Return a simple 2-column list, 2-column table with all variables accounted for. We'll see how this goes. All right, while that's running, back in Relay, 14 minutes in, love this. All right, so right now I'm gonna trigger this manually, and essentially I want to look in my deal pipeline. This is where I store all of the data about the clients that I'm speaking to. And we can see we have things like company name, contact info, deal owner, deal size, their email, their industry, notes, and then like there's always like call notes in the meeting. So I think we can just use that for now. The biggest thing is going to be like the sales transcript, which honestly, I need to, in a separate workflow, make sure that after a sales call, that is sending the transcript to this Notion page. Otherwise, it will just kind of add an unnecessary step. But for now, I'm just going to do a create a constant, and this is going to be transcript. And I am going to add a multi-line and just pull from a recent sales call that I had and put that in there. Because essentially, like the first thing I want to do is like pull all the information I can out of this transcript. So, okay, let's think about it. We've had a sales call. We've have information on them. We're going to want to do research. We're going to probably want to do some deep research. And then we're going to need to answer some questions to be able to get the output for the slide. While I'm saying this, I think the best place to start is probably see if we can fill out multiple variables throughout the deck. So I'm going to check back on ChatGPT, and awesome, we were able to do that. God, I love when ChatGPT works. I'm going to take some screenshots. There you go. So we have all of the variables here. I'm just going to keep this as like a variables thing. Cool. All right. First, let's do some web research. Also, Relay just added this like new assistant, which honestly works pretty well, but I kind of like thinking through this manually, but you can essentially like tell it the workflow you want and it will create it for you. Okay, so we're seeing if we can make multiple things. So let's start with step one. We're duplicating this, and the title is going to be Catalyst, that client name, which we can find from here, identify the client name from either Notion or this data variable. So let's, yeah, there we go. It should be able to get it. Okay. Make this auto generate. It's going to have an output as client name. There you go. So what we're doing here is Catalyst client name and then proposal. This is just how I structure, my proposals. And we'll just put it in same folder for now. And these are all the placeholders to replace. There they are. Awesome. Can I add all of them? Okay, we're going to add them one by one. Unknown field. Why is that? Add at least one field. Okay, let this load for a second. There's a lot of variables. It's kind of cool because you can replace all the images too. So like you'll see, we'll do like a web search to find like a headshot for them and put that in there. People always love that. Date, awesome. All right, so this is client name, cool. So we've already identified the client name, so we can go, boom, client name. See how this is working? Those are all deliverables. I'm glad I linked those together. I kind of want to do it logically in order. Okay, that's easy. So executive summary, gaps, market context, header, market landscape, body, objective one body, objective one header, okay. Yeah. Is this alphabetical? No, that wouldn't make any sense. Strengths. Okay. See, it is alphabetical. Okay. LMNOPQRS. Yes. All right. Strategy reports. See, this is where it would be nice to have it side by side. All right. Market landscape H1. Market landscape body. We just did that. Strengths body. Opportunities. Gaps body. There's definitely a better way to do this. I don't know where G is. Objective, deliver A, B, C, D, E, F, G, L, M, N, P, A, G. All right, moving on. Gaps identified body is what it is, but we'll whatever, move on. Strategy overview body. Boom. Objective 1 H3, objective 1 body, objective 2 H3, body, objective 3 H3, objective 3 body. Cool. Nice. Those got that. Reports. So strategy, reports header, strategy reports body, strategy LinkedIn header, strategy LinkedIn body, strategy authority. Oh, matrix. Yep. Strategy newsletter, strategy authority body. Cool. Strategy newsletter. Sorry, must be so annoying to listen to. All right. Then we've got all the deliverables. Where the frick is that? Objectives or strengths? Okay, I don't know. Let's start here. This is like totally plenty to work with. Cool. Okay, so you can kind of see how we start to structure this. Now we need to go find all the information to actually put into this deck. And I feel kind of good about this. I didn't realize this would be kind of so easy. That's going to be helpful. This is also going to be helpful. What are like the basic information we need? Identify the client name from the call. I wonder if this is a good time to see. For step 5, we want to extract key information about the client and what they are looking to accomplish based on the sales transcript, so we can build an effective marketing proposal. Write a strong and detailed, you can see where we are down here, detailed prompt to accomplish this. This is where I find this really helpful. Look, you can have really basic prompts and it will do a lot of things well. But I can also just do this and it's probably going to be a lot better. So great. This is step 1, find basic info. We also probably want to like extract some key things like clients, website, and the person on the sales call's name to find on LinkedIn. Right, I'm thinking about those other things that we need to go do some like deep research on them. Let me show you. Great, so we have this. We'll let that generate. For giggles, let's just test this. Where did they put the test button? Done. Oh, probably because there's an error here. This is going to be after because variables, great, whatever. Variables page is too available. Great. Because what we're going to want to do is like see if they're we might need to go do a calendar search because we want to find them in the deal pipeline, and we can find them by, no, let's try to find them by client name. Find them by client name from step 4. I love this filter assistant. Honestly, it's top notch. Cool. Is exactly client company name. I'm just going to make it contain to add a little bit of variability there. And then if no pages are found, continue without a result. Cool. Let's not test it because this gets all funky. Yeah, I can already tell we're going to want to find all of the things before we start adding these in, because as soon as a variable output name changes, the whole thing breaks. So let me do a test up until this point, although it might just run the whole thing, which is fine. I have a feeling we're going to run through a lot of test runs because that's honestly just how I work. Again, probably, oh shoot, I really don't want to run that stuff, but view technical data. That is not good. Okay. Maybe we want to retry step. Okay. Nice. What did this give us? Nothing. Cool. It doesn't like the schema output. Maybe it has to do with the model. Oh, and it really doesn't need to do this step. Skip this step. Cool. Essentially, my plan is after I do this, I'm just going to pause it, which I do over here. Pause. But we'll let it finish. Anyway, so I think the next steps are going to be go and find anything we can about the company, go do like competitive research, go find out about their industry. Right? When we show up to these proposal calls, we really want to be demonstrating that we've like put in the work and we've put in the effort. And so, showing that you understand their market and their landscape goes such a long way. All right, before it does that, cool. There we go. Okay. Sweet. Sure. It's like enough to get us started. All right. So we just did this find basic info. We're now, did it successfully find the, nice. All right. We're cooking with gas. So next we want to go and do AI search. Honestly, let's just use the assistant to see what this works with. Can I use my, guys, if you aren't using Whisperflow, you're missing out. Look at this. I can just hold down a key and I can say, following step 5, use all of the information that you know about the individual that I spoke with and the company, and find their LinkedIn profile based off of their name and email. You can probably do this through a Google search. And then additionally, we need a LLM step that goes and does deep competitive analysis research on the company so we can understand their market conditions, who the competitors are, what they're doing in the space, and really ultimately what the opportunities are from a content perspective for the client. It's going to put that all in there. There were a lot of steps in there, and let's see how well the assistant does. So your goal is to automate 2 research steps. Yep, delineated between the 2. Awesome. I guess it's just using GPT-5, killer. It's going to write those prompts for me. I mean, that's pretty cool. Okay, apply. My only question is, does this have like, okay, let me see. GPT-5 with, oh, deep research. Oh, I think that's kind of what I want to use for this step. 003 Pro. That one's expensive as shit. I'm just going to go 03 on this. I don't know why, but I really like the output of Claude. Well, I guess we're just doing research for now. Okay. Honestly, we're one-shotting this, and I kind of like it. After step 7, we now need to use all the information about the individual, their CEO, whoever the founder of the company is, or whoever we've determined is going to be the executive for this account. And we need to do a competitive analysis, or sorry, a SWOT analysis, SWOT, to consolidate all of our findings into a single output that we can then use to make a proposal. This honestly might kind of be a redundant step. No, but I guess we're going to do a SWOT analysis. Whatever. Let's add it. We can always delete it. New ASO. Ready. Oh, it just added it to this. Oh, I'm cool with that. Did it? Suggested change, add step 8. Yes, make step 8. Boom. Okay. Cool. What's next? Wow, this is like okay. Let's reload. I was just gonna say this is going so well. Assistant, can you make? I'm gonna keep breaking this. I already have a feeling that's not gonna work. Oh, all right, I stand corrected. Nope, there we go. Okay. I do always like kind of finding the upper limits of these things. Whatever. I don't think that step was necessary anyway. What is necessary, though, is taking an AI and let's do a custom prompt. We want to have some really good logic to this. I'm going to use Sonnet 4.5 for this. Essentially, what I want to do is say, we're making a proposal as we are a content strategy and agency looking to make a proposal for that company. We need to use all information to fill out and assign fill out the information in our template with the variables below. the output should only be these variables, nothing else. Now, what I'm hoping is over here on the output, it's going to go find all those variables and like map it. Yeah, there we go. God, I love when this works. I can't even express. Do you know how long? I used to spend like a week building a proposal, even if we had a template. All right. We're just going to one-shot this. I like it. All right, let's see. Client date, I guess, is the only thing I have to manually do. I'm just gonna manually input this for now. Executive summary body. You know what I need? I know like what I'm gonna need to do after this because okay, so like executive summary body, great. Market landscape body. This is gonna be like a bulleted list. Like I think I'm gonna need to add some like formatting instructions here. Strengths, bulleted list, strategy overview. I know the LinkedIn matrix is going to be a bulleted list. I mean, sure. So then we're just kind of assigning, what are we, gaps identified, analysis body, market landscape header, market landscape heading, market landscape body, can I fill in the variables of step 9 to the best of your ability? This. We're getting so lazy. Like, just ask it for what you want. I don't like. Huzzah. All right. Apply. Boom. Yes. Publish. Not even testing any of our work. Oh, this is kind of fun. Okay. Delete. What we do want to do is, oh yeah, I'm not convinced this can search the web. Oh, tools, add, search the web for live information to answer the prompt. I don't even know. I haven't tried this yet. But, man, and it would be cool. Oh, let's go do a LinkedIn profile search. Search LinkedIn for profile. Email address, full name and company. Company name or website URL. Company, person on sales call, but we need to function split before space, split before the space. Yep. And then this is going to be find basic info, person on sales call, split. Oh, do you want? I just want to find last name of, yeah. I forgot they added those. Given name of, cool. All right. Continue without result. That's just kind of value add. I want the profile information. And then that could just, in theory, help the let's look at the post, you know. Oh, but cool. This is what we get. So on some of these variables, like add field, um, man, where is that image? I guess it would be helpful to know the name of the image that I'm trying to replace. What I'm trying to do is add in the image of the executive here, but I don't know what this image is called. Maybe if I replace it with like stock, it'll be more easy to spot, right? Okay, so cool. Now come back here and say, high angle view of a stretch. Oh, found it. Great. All right. So what we'll want to do is select a. What do you mean no files in this workflow? Do I have to save image, convert, optimize, and compress image for PDF? So essentially in the output of this, we're going to get an image. I guess we want to like save the image. Save. Download. Oh, come on. Image. Convert image. Convert file to another format. No, it's not even. Oh, download image from a URL, I think is what it's called. It's definitely on this. Generate URL for image. Get file from URL. Yes, define, there we go. Profile photo URL. Thank you, that's what I want to do. Name it exec image. Cool, dot JPEG. Now, this step, I'm going to come in here and populate that file. The logo is going to be hard, I'm not going to lie. But look, we have done a lot of steps and we have no idea if this is going to work. So let's run through it. We're going to test the whole damn workflow. All right, so we have the constant, which is the sales call. Normally, we would pull that from Notion. I just don't have that other workflow set up. We are extracting basic information to help us with next steps from step number 3. This is finding client name, analyzing the sales call, extracting any information that it thinks would be valuable for these next steps. Step 4 is finding the related page in my sales database. If you're advanced or, you know, a normal business owner, you probably have a CRM. This would be the same thing. Now we're going and finding LinkedIn profile. So based off of the information, we're going to go look for this person's LinkedIn profile. The way I usually do it is have it go and do a search on Google. And if you do like Will Leatherman LinkedIn profile and search that, it will be in like the top 10 results for sure. If not the first one. And so you just prompt it to go find that one. Next is going to be the long step, the deep market and competitive research. We want to go find competitors. We want to go see what they're doing content-wise, go find opportunities. Awesome. We didn't add the like specific SWOT analysis component, so maybe, maybe that's another step we'll have to go back and add, but whatever. We can add that easily. You can see how quickly it is to add these little steps. Now, also, I just want to note, like, this is probably going to save me 6 hours per proposal. Genuinely, like, that's how long I would take. I don't know why it's taking me so long to build this. It's been 45 minutes just doing this video. So, all right, so we're going to go find the LinkedIn profile. We're going to go do deep research, right? We'll probably need another like analysis step, I believe, but I could be wrong. Then 7 is going to go find and actually find that person's, I guess I could have just connected it to the step 3 output, whatever, but it's going to go find their LinkedIn profile. It's going to get information about them. What's cool is, yes, you get their image, but you also can look at like their bio and their description and their past work history, which sometimes just contextually helps frame the narrative of who they are as an executive. If someone has worked at Google for 10 years and they just started a startup, that's obviously very important to include in like their narrative and executive positioning. We look at their past posts. That helps us understand, have they been posting? Are they good? Are they bad? Again, opportunities. Then we convert the file from the LinkedIn profile URL. Then step 10 is the meat. It is, we put in all of those variables, and it is going to essentially assign the outputs for all the variables needed. And then step 11 is copying the slide from our template folder, making a duplicate, and then filling in all the information that we assigned. Now, in no world do I think this will get me to a finished proposal. However, going in and opening it up and just making some edits is going to be a whole lot quicker than this. So I will come back when we get an output from this. I'm just going to wait here patiently. Peace. Well, not peace. You'll see me a second. All right, after about 15 minutes, we had some errors coming through, but I wanted to let it run because that's how I learn best of how I know what to fix. So let's open it up. Cool, we got the client up there. We got the date. Okay. Look at this. Executive summary, a little long. So we have some formatting stuff. Let's take a look at this. Honestly, we're getting into just formatting territory here. For now, kind of system about demand engine designed. I also realized I didn't even give any. I didn't give any guidelines of like what makes a good strategy overview or what makes a good objective. That definitely is going to be where the work comes in of like these. Oh, we missed that. Oh, maybe I just put it in here. No, that's the content matrix. Couldn't find an image, so that's why that's there. Honestly, newsletter, not bad for one-shotting this, as they say. So what I want to do next is, we've gotten actually pretty good progress here. So what I'm going to do is come in here. Some of these basic steps, like we couldn't find anyone on LinkedIn, and this deep research, I need to go through this and make sure that make sure that it even did this correctly. But I think the main thing is cleaning up these prompts or actually just adding more specificity to it. The main thing I'm going to change is I need to decide if it's going to be its own step or um, the step before this essentially is you can add a AI step, custom prompt. You can add like knowledge base here. And what I want to do is give it a example or a reference of what an effective executive, like an executive summary is, what a strategy overview looks like, what objectives look like. Give it reference for all the variables. And then as it's assigning it. So I'll probably do it to this step. And then I think we need a step before that actually kind of does some critical thinking. Because right now it's kind of just doing critical thinking and formatting and output into one step, which never really works well, in my opinion. So I want to do a critical thinking step first and then have it just assign that information into the different variables. In these variables, I'll give length maximums. So like, executive summary body, I'll probably say like max length, 250 characters, or maybe like 120 words, right? I'll go through. That way it's condensed and it's consolidated, and having those references will be really beneficial. But as you can see, as we get this a little bit, we went to a pretty much done proposal with the research and the information, in just a matter of minutes. So really effective workflow. And if you start thinking about, using Google Slides with variables as a way to create graphics, social graphics, presentations, there's a lot that can be done, especially if it's something that you're constantly filling out and formatting each time. Investor updates, pitch decks, like we're using it for internal decks. Honestly, anything that you have a template and you need to fill in regularly, you can build workflows to create this. So really awesome here. Shout out Relay. If you want to sign up, I have a affiliate link, or don't use it, whatever. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. And I'm going to be posting the end product of this when it's done. I'm just going to work on this for another, I bet I can have this whole thing wrapped in another hour. It's been about 45 minutes and I need another hour to finish this. That's 2 hours worth of time, a 2-hour investment to save me 6-7 hours per proposal. If I'm doing 3 or 4 proposals a week, that is, 24 hours of time I am saving, which is pretty insane. So let me know if you have questions, and talk to you later. Peace.